Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This short video is about how to get more miles out of your battery from Tesla Model Y. When I was talking to a friend of mine, he was surprised I actually use so little energy for my Tesla Model Y. I realized, okay, maybe a lot of the common sense people will not necessarily know or be aware of. If you use some of these things, it can help you get more out of your battery. So EPA estimated Tesla Model Y range is about 306. I think the software update for mine, it bumped up to 316. That translates to about 225 to 230 watt hour per mile. And if you look at my meter here, this is just the last trip. This is a short, and this is the last charge is 192, and this is trip A. This is the total. I have almost 7,000 miles. I had 213 watt hours per mile, so it's significant. It's not. It's maybe 10%, 5 to 10% below EPA estimated consumption, which means I can get more than whatever the EPA estimated miles is. This probably I can get 330, 340 miles. So I just want to share some of the things I was doing. This is for 7,000 miles. My situation is, of course, since I had this Tesla, we were sort of quarantined at home. The car I drive is mostly local and the freeways. There's some highway, but not a whole lot. Maybe 10% of the 7,000 miles is on highway. The rest is all local. So to me, the first thing that matters, of course, is the speed. If you make sure you're just driving at the speed limit, because once you exceed the speed limit, especially on the highway, if you're going 85 miles or more, the energy consumption can increase exponentially. But if you're just going at 65 miles, the energy consumption is pretty mild. The second thing is the temperature. So far, since I bought the car in June, so far the weather's been the summer and the fall, so I don't need to heat up the battery a whole lot, so it doesn't use much of the energy for non-driving purpose, and that can save some energy. So what I'm sure everyone notices, not just me, is once you start driving the car, the energy consumption initially was very high, then it starts going down very quickly, because the reason it was high initially is because it's heating up the battery to make it more efficient. If you have a lot of short trips, that can drain the battery much quicker. But if you go a longer trip, it will average out the heating battery consumption, then can make your car go further. A lot of my trips is like 100 miles, 50 to 100 miles. So that's something I use to save energy. Of course, if your trip is not something you can determine, if your trip is less than that, you're doing short trips, then you may not be able to utilize this things. The next thing, of course, is the air conditioner or heater. In general, I personally don't really like AC. So even in the summer, when I turn on AC, the temperature was pretty high, because I'm allergic to AC. If air's too cold and blow on my head, I got a headache. So I generally don't use a whole lot of AC. The AC power consumption is pretty small. I'd rather roll down the window. But be careful when you drive too fast. Rolling down the window increase the resistance. It could end up using more energies. This is more of a personal preference. The other thing is heater. If you turn the AC off, but the temperature is higher than the air temperature, then the heater is actually on. So that can consume energy. It's unintentional. I couldn't find a way to turn it off, but leave the fan on, unless you set the temperature really low. So most of the time I just turn the fan off, and then when I start the car, if the car has a smell, I roll down the window for a few seconds or a minute to get rid of the smells. Of course, if you drive in a longer trip, you need to turn the air or turn the air on. Just make sure the temperature you set in the car is below the air temperature. Another thing is trying to anticipate the road condition and not use regen, but when you slow down, try not to use regen and let the car cruise and be gentle on the pedals. The regen, even though it can recycle the energy, is definitely better than the gasoline car, but it's not 100% efficient. So there's definitely energy loss. If your car's going at a certain speed and you know there's a red traffic light ahead of you, you can just gently lose the pedal a little bit. It's still sending battery juice to the car, but at a much smaller magnitude, so the car will slow down naturally. If you're not using regen, then it's more efficient driving. That's how I think about it. Oh, one more thing I noticed that's extremely important is the tire pressure. Most of the car tire pressure is like 32 to 35 psi. Tesla tire pressure is much higher. It's the manual says 42. Mine set at 40, so try to keep it above 40. That can significantly reduce the rolling resistance and improve the efficiency. Because once the tire is wider, once the tire pressure is low, the rolling the surface that touching the ground it's bigger, and that increases the rolling resistance and it consumes more energy. This is proportionally, so it can be a big deal. I had 2 tire punctures already so far. I learned the lesson. I went to Costco. They filled with a nitrogen. It helps to maintain the tire pressure. So regardless of the temperature outside, it's constant at 42, but it's not at reaching 42, because I think mine's like a 42. It still varies a little bit, but not that bad. The last tip I have, of course, is the excess cargo or the load. If you always have unused stuff on the car that increase the weight of the car, that can reduce the efficiency. So keep in mind, Tesla Model Y is a super efficient car. The battery is only equivalent to about 2.5 gallons of gasoline. If you want to go too far, you need to keep it lean. You can't have this excess fat in the body, basically. So in my car, especially in the trunk area, I only have like a couple card boxes and one air pump, and that's it, and nothing else. And to keep the car at a normal weight will certainly increase the range. These are the things I can think of to increase the EPA range or your car efficiency. I'm sure these are all common sense. If you're experienced driver, of course, you know all this is nothing but more of a validation of what you already know. But if you're new to Tesla, this may be something you can use. It's just my personal experience to share with everyone. This is it for the short video. If you like my video, please subscribe. I'll have more in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.